Hello everyone, Matthias Key here, coming to you from the year 2024, reading Ancient Prophecies of the Mahdi, the Book of Revelation as prototype for the Islamic end-time Hadiths. We have reached the section titled K01, Satan and the devils rebel against God and are cast out of heaven. In Revelation, the earliest event in the chronology goes back to the time after God created Adam and Eve. It tells of the wonder of the great red dragon, whose tail sweeps the third part of the stars from heaven down to earth. The image symbolizes the rebellion of Satan and a third of the angels against God. It describes the fall of Satan and the origin of the devils. We will consider the italicized parts of these verses in later sections. They refer to later points in the timeline of history. The backstory of the red dragon involves Adam and Eve. A study of the Bible tells us that Satan and the devils, along with the rest of the angels, are spirit beings created by God. This happened during the 6 days of creation of Genesis chapter 1. Initially, all the angels had free access to heaven. But Satan was not satisfied. He said, "I will make myself like the Most High." Isaiah 14:14. God responded to this challenge by casting him out of heaven. This was the fall of Satan and the evil spirits. Afterward, they made it their mission to torment men and women on earth. Satan then appeared to Eve as the talking serpent in the Garden of Eden. In this guise, he deceived her into eating of the tree of good and evil, which was the only thing that God expressly forbid Adam and Eve not to do. The temptation that Satan held out to her was the same that brought about his own fall, that she and Adam would be like God. Genesis 3 verse 5. Adam willingly followed into the same sin instead of correcting his wife. But the two of them did not become like God. Instead, they learned evil. This act of original sin is shared by all the descendants of Adam and Eve, including you and me. Each of us, secretly or openly, wants what we want, instead of desiring to follow God with all our heart. The fall of the human race into sin happened more than 4,000 years before Muhammad. In their shame, Adam and Eve recounted exactly what happened to their descendants. The record was carefully relayed through the line of Noah, then through the line of Abraham and Israel, until Moses wrote it down at God's direction 2,000 years before Islam. God created the human race to be immortal, but our first parents rejected this perfection in favor of Satan's lie. The result was that God sentenced them to eventually die. And so all of us will die, a physical death, because we share in the sin and rebellion of our original ancestors. God gave additional revelation about the fall of Satan to his Jewish prophet Ezekiel more than 1,000 years before Muhammad. Ezekiel sees Satan in the form of the Prince of Tyre, which was the premier seaport of the Eastern Mediterranean at the time. He was the signet of perfection, an anointed cherub in the Garden of Eden, until God dealt with his rebellion. This is described in Ezekiel chapter 28. After he was cast out of heaven, Satan could only return there when summoned. For example, when he appeared before God to discuss the righteousness of Job. That's in Job 1 verse 6, which we will discuss in section K15. Why is Satan not satisfied until he's like God? Many say he was filled with the sin of pride and wants company in his rebellion by getting as many men and women as possible to build up his own kingdom. My answer is that it was not pride, but jealousy of Christ and of all human beings created in his image. Satan's goal is to destroy both Jesus and all mankind. By many evidences and testimonies, the Bible shows Jesus Christ to be the eternal and divine Son of God, the second person of the Trinity. In my first book, Appendix A, titled Why Satan Hates Christ, I discussed the biblical evidence that even before God created the universe in 6 days, Jesus was already the perfect God-man, with an eternal spirit and glorified body. He was the template for Adam and Eve and all their descendants. This is supported in the New Testament by Hebrews 13, verse 8. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. The word yesterday looks back from when Hebrews was written all the way to before the creation. When God created the angels, he brought his eternal Son Jesus before them. Most of the angels willingly worshipped him out of profound gratitude, as in Hebrews 1:6. But Satan and his associate angels did not worship. When he understood that Jesus was the eternal God-man, and that Adam, Eve, and their descendants to come were created in his image, an unrelenting hatred arose in Satan's heart toward Jesus and toward God the Father. Satan saw Jesus Christ as the supreme obstacle in his goal to become equal to God. He determined to undermine the position of Jesus by attacking those created in his image. To this day, he attacks people. He does so physically by promoting disease, abortion, and war. He also attacks them spiritually by promoting religions and ideologies that challenge God's word. We shall see that one of these religions violently enforces the ideas that God must be singular, that the three-in-one God of the Bible is anathema, and that there cannot be a divine Son of God. The Hadiths. The fall of Satan in the Bible inspired the character of Shaitan in the Quran. I already mentioned its story of Iblis, the first of the Shaitans, or devils, in the section on the main actors of the end-time Hadiths. In the Quran, he was a glorious creature made of fire, who refused to bow to Adam. That is the reason given why Allah banished all the devils from heaven to earth. Shaitan then swore revenge on Adam and his descendants. In the Hadiths of section H15, we shall see an echo of the red dragon's tail drawing a third of the stars down to earth. A star with a tail will signal the coming of the Mahdi. Comparison. Compared with the Quran, the Bible gives much more insight into Satan's fall and his aim of turning all humanity to destruction. If you have found this video helpful, then please click the like button. I also invite you to subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon to get notifications when I upload new videos. Thank you for watching.